Inter Miami managing owner Jorge Mas, as well as co-owner Jose Mas. Thank you. Florida's Department of Commerce Secretary Alex Kelly's with us. And then we've got Murderers Row here. We've got Representatives Basabe, Busada Cabrera, Lamarca, Rizzo. So welcome to our legislators. Thank you guys for coming. And then we have Miami-Dade Commissioner Roberto Gonzalez, as well as Rene Garcia, Miami-Dade Commissioner. So welcome, guys. So we've got a lot going on with our state. We were recently ranked #1 for economy 2 years in a row by CNBC. We're ranked #1 in education 2 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. We've been ranked #1 for public higher education for the last 6 years, and we've not increased tuition 1 red cent since I've been governor, and we're going to keep it that way. We have crime rate at a 50-year low. We have the lowest. So all the debt that Florida's accumulated in its entire history, from the 1840s till I became governor, we've paid off 36% of it in the last 5.5 years. And we now have the lowest per capita debt anywhere in the United States of America, which is great. We're #1 in new business formations, #1 in tourism, and #1 in net in-migration. In fact, you look at since 2020, we have the most net in-migration of any state, and it's coming from states, like Minnesota, quite frankly, with Waltz, Illinois, Chicago, California, New York, New Jersey, you name it. People have come and voted with their feet, and so we're proud of that. We're proud of what we've been able to accomplish in the state of Florida. And one of the things I think that's unique is, like, so many people have connections to Florida now in ways that may not have been true 25, 30 years ago. Just think, when COVID hit, they shut all the sports down, professional sports. Where was the first sporting event a few weeks into COVID? It was UFC in Florida. Where was the first golf? Florida. They did the Tiger Woods-Phil Mickelson match at the Medalist. Where was the NBA season played? It was played in Central Florida. All this stuff. We had one of the first NASCAR races, all these different things. So we've been great on events. We've hosted 2 Super Bowls in the last, 5 or 6 years, national championship. We got another college football national championship coming. Of course, we do major events like we did with F1 down in Miami. I mean, honestly, that is a huge zoo. So many people there. We do Daytona 500. We do all these different things. And just think of the results, too, for what we have. Now, the one thing that we are working on, and I think Florida State did well, Jose tells me that UM is going to be good at the U this year in football. University of Florida is looking to bounce back as well. But hopefully we'll be able to get to where we're the center of the college football universe, because we used to be that. People down in South Florida remember the 80s and 90s very well. It was a huge juggernaut. So we want to get back to that. But think about everything else that we had. We had 2 of the final 4 teams in the College World Series in Omaha. We were up there a couple months ago. We have the reigning NHL champions in South Florida, and we have the Lightning, who've also won championships. So we're like a great hockey state now. Of course, we've got a lot of stuff going. And then in NFL, all 3 of our teams made it to the playoffs. That's not easy to do when you have 3 teams. And I think they're all looking pretty good for this upcoming season. I know Miami's looking good. I think they're going to do well. So you see all this stuff, and it's just a lot of excitement. And look, I'm partial to the baseball stuff as a baseball player growing up, some of these other stuff. But if you look at some of the things that has generated excitement, I mean, what we've seen in soccer in South Florida has been incredible, especially when they brought Messi on. That was like the biggest thing ever. And so there's so much excitement about what they've been able to do down here and you're going to see there's going to be a great environment tonight. And then to have somebody that's globally a global superstar like that right here in South Florida is a really, really big deal for the community. And I know a lot of people have gotten excited. And then we're going to parlay that into having the World Cup when you're in 2026. So there's a lot happening here, and we're excited about that. Now, I think most of you know this is a temporary stadium that they have. They're doing a major project down in Miami where they're going to have not just the stadium, but they're going to have a lot of other things that's really going to create a great economic engine. There's going to be a lot of great things going on. So, you know, for us, as much as I like sports, we have not been willing, we just don't believe that we give money to like build a sports stadium. We've just never done that for state money. I know local governments sometimes have to make those decisions, but from the state perspective, that's not anything we've ever done, and that's not anything we are going to do. But when these projects are being done, if there is a new stadium, if there's something like that, the one thing I think of is, well, people are going to want to go to that. Are they going to be able to get there? Is it going to cause more traffic and all these other things? And that's true anywhere. It's particularly true in South Florida because it's like anything can happen. All of a sudden you have a backup of traffic, and it's very, very difficult. So this is an exciting project. There's a lot going on. And our role, I think, as the state government is not necessarily, you know, to give money to a team or do this, but to just create an environment where everyone can be successful, and whether that's in education or other things, but infrastructure is a big part of that. And we've done a lot of things with infrastructure, and it may be something, and we have different pots of money for this. The legislature funded, even though we reduce spending year over year, how many places is doing that? We had the biggest transportation budget in the history of the state of Florida this year. We did Moving Florida Forward, which put $5 to $7 billion in addition to that to accelerate all these road projects, which we're really excited about. And that's going to make a difference because you're talking about projects that weren't even going to start until next decade. Now they're going to be done next decade or sooner. And so we've moved up the window by 5, 7, 10, 12 years, depending on the project. And that's good. But then there's also needs that come up. So we have something the legislature's funded called the Governor's Job Growth Grant Fund, and we use it for basically two things. We use it for workforce, and we use it for infrastructure, both with an eye to laying a foundation for job creation. So there have been awards we've done for different programs, workforce training. We've done a lot, for example, for commercial driver's license, truck driving. We've expanded the number of people we can produce in Florida from 600 a year to 3,500 a year. Pretty important. We've lived through a couple years of supply chain disruptions. Those goods need to be able to get from the port to where their final destination is. And if they can't, if there's disrupted, you pay more. And the price of all this stuff goes up with the inflation. So we want to work against that. Obviously, there's a lot more that needs to be done than just that. And we've been able to do things strategically. We've done it with semiconductors. We just had a great announcement in the Tampa Bay area. So on and on it goes. We've been it's been really effective. We've also done infrastructure. There may be an industrial park somewhere where they're recruiting businesses, but it's hard to get to from one of the main arteries or main thoroughfares. So we can build a road that connects and to make this stuff flow. And we've done that in different parts of the state. So today, I'm proud to say that we have an opportunity to make an impact to help this project from an infrastructure perspective by awarding $8 million to Miami-Dade County through the Job Growth Grant Fund to construct a roadway that's going to help get people where they need to go and relieve traffic at the Miami Freedom Park. And this is something that I think is going to be good for folks that are going to want to go. And not just, the thing is, the soccer games are going to be one thing. There are going to be other events at the stadium. And then there's going to be businesses around there. People may not even want to go to a game. Maybe they just want to go out to dinner. This is going to be an attraction, which is great. But we also don't want a situation where people aren't able to get there in ways that are efficient, causing more. Because the traffic will increase if we do nothing because more people are going to be descending. So by doing this, we're creating a nice artery where people are going to be able to get where they need to go. So this is a massive project. I know they're broken ground on it. We're looking at this stuff happening probably quicker than it would happen in other parts of the country. And so we're looking forward to when we're able to do that. We're already welcoming a lot of visitors. this will lead to even more tourists wanting to come visit the state of Florida. I don't think there's any question about that. So I thought when this application came in, my folks, people apply from all over the state, counties, cities, whatever. And it's reviewed, and our folks really liked it, and I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be meaningful. It's going to help the community. It'll be good for the project, but it'll also be good for people just to be able to get out and about. So I'm excited about doing it. I think that this is an exciting project for South Florida. And, the hits just keep on coming. I mean, we've got one thing after another where Florida's making it happen. So thanks for everyone that's been involved in this, and I'm proud to turn it over to our Inter Miami managing owner, my friend Jorge Mas.
Thank you, Governor. Welcome to your home. To my dear friend, Jeanette, Lieutenant Governor, the Secretary of Commerce, the Mayor Trentalis was here with us today, and our dear friend, the Mayor of Fort Lauderdale. And I think today is an extremely important announcement because it lies and bears on the foundation of what was the creation of Inter Miami. And it was built on a dream. It was built on what is the moniker of our team, freedom to dream, about bringing professional soccer to South Florida. And as we progressed on a blank canvas of building something which today is global in nature, because not only are we a leading Major League Soccer club in the United States of America, I think we're one of the top 10 soccer clubs in the world, not only from a brand perspective, but the excitement that's been generated by having a global superstar by Lionel Messi and other stars who perform here on a pitch. And most importantly, and this is not only on behalf of myself and my brother and David Beckham, but we're the embodiment of the American dream. My parents fled Cuba and fled a dictatorship to find freedom in this country. And to be able to stand here today before you talking about a global team, about being able to give back to our community, about bringing the most popular global sport, and to be able to grow and be able to build what is going to be transformational in Miami, which is Miami Freedom Park, which is not only a stadium, but it's going to be a destination. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar square foot entertainment district. It's going to house hotels. It's going to house offices. It's going to house businesses. But most importantly, it's going to create over 13,000 direct and indirect jobs, which is to create job growth. The stadium is 100% privately funded. We're going to have a tourist economy that's going to want to build there. And this project alone is going to generate over $40 million a year in tax revenue between state and local governments. That's the way to do a public-private partnership. And as this fund is called Job Growth, which is going to be used for infrastructure, which is going to benefit an impoverished area of our community. And that's important because one of the things that Miami Freedom Park is going to create, besides a 26,700-foot soccer-specific stadium, an entertainment district, et cetera, it's going to create the largest park in the city of Miami. It's going to be a 58-acre park, which for us is humbling to know that the city of Miami named it after my late father, Jorge Mas Canosa. So we take great pride in being able to build something that's going to be an attraction for our community, that we're going to be able to fund. And this Job Growth Grant Fund, and I think what the governor has done today is amazing. It's allowing us in South Florida to bring back our dollars, because it's our tax dollars, back into our community, regenerate them, and generate economic development, because that's what it's all about. So on behalf of all of us, Governor, thank you. This money is going to be put to good use. The stadium will be finished and completed in the fall of next year. We will be opening our 26th season in that stadium, and the project is going amazingly well. So on behalf of our family, Governor, thank you very much.
Okay, and managing these grants is our Secretary of Florida Commerce, Alex Kelly.
Well, Governor DeSantis, first, I want to thank you for your leadership in making this important infrastructure grant investment today in Miami Freedom Park Drive. And I want to thank our incredible hosts here, with everyone affiliated here at the stadium, with the Inter Miami leadership team. It's been incredible to work with you and your team in particular. Governor DeSantis, Lieutenant Governor Nunez, at Florida Commerce, we are grateful for the opportunity to implement the strategic investments that you, sir, have made in infrastructure readiness, workforce readiness, financial readiness, and really just what has really become the overall #1 ecosystem for job creation in the world, not just the nation, but in the world. And Governor, in 2019, you pledged that Florida would become #1 in workforce education by 2030. We did our homework early. Florida became #1 in talent development in 2022 and was named #1 again in talent development in 2023. You mentioned, Governor, the 3 million new businesses formed in Florida since 2019. Most of those, Governor, are small businesses that support an ecosystem like this that you have right here with Inter Miami. And again, you mentioned we have the #1 state college, #1 state university system in the nation. Again, we're losing count the number of years that we've had that. We've also now, as a state, reached almost a $1.6 trillion GDP in your time in office, which is incredible. And that's happened because of these record investments, as you mentioned, in transportation systems, workforce systems, and even targeted investments. Lieutenant Governor, in aerospace and aviation, in semiconductors, Governor, as you mentioned, cybersecurity. The list goes on, military and defense. And today's investment for Miami Freedom Park Drive, through the Job Growth Grant Fund is, as you mentioned, Governor, a tremendous example of exactly how you've led the state. It is a targeted investment in a connector between communities. It is a targeted investment so that if you're a job seeker, if you're a job creator, if you're a resident, if you're a family just looking to enjoy just the scenic beauty of what's to come, you have that ability to take advantage and to access the sporting attractions, the tourist attractions, the hotels, all the restaurants, all the shops. You have that easily and accessibly. And so really, just Governor, just so excited to be here today. To the whole Inter Miami team, so excited to be here today. Again, truly, we've really enjoyed at Florida Commerce working with your team. They're incredibly great to work with. And when we look forward to, this road alone is directly impacting 1,800 of those jobs that you mentioned. But as you mentioned, 13,000 total direct and indirect jobs. So we just look forward to continuing to be a partner. And thank you so much for this opportunity, Governor.
Great. Yet I think what they're doing, and we've seen this be successful in other parts of the country, it's like when you have a venue, that's going to attract people, but then they're having all this other stuff that's there that people are going to want to go and be a part of, and it's really going to be, I think, a place that is going to do a lot of traffic, a lot of business, and it's going to attract a lot of people throughout the community. So I think it's going to be a big success. In 1 minute, we're going to officially do the ceremonial check. But I've been being asked about this, and I haven't really said as much. But they're asking me about this waltz from Minnesota. Here's the thing. As Florida governor, I learn a lot about other states because when people leave those states, they tell me why they left those states. And I remember during COVID, the absolute frustration that people had moving from Minnesota because of how they were being treated. This is a guy that's out there, he's got this line in the stump speech saying, our neighbors can do what they want, mind your own damn business. Fine, then why did you set up a snitch hotline for neighbors to report on their neighbors for violating your draconian COVID restrictions? That's not minding your own damn business. That's government overreach. And he'll talk about, things about, he'll say, we should, make healthcare choices. That's your choice. Fine, great. Then why did you impose a mandate to take an experimental mRNA COVID shot on your people? He did that for all state employees. I don't think it was constitutional. Certainly isn't giving them an option for something that just came on the market. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. And then on it goes about the policies that were done that have given them a net decrease in population over the last 3 years. And I really believe that I can cite you the statistics that we're #1 here, #1 there, but just watch how people vote with their feet. because when people are voting with their feet, that's meaningful. That's telling you something. And if people that have roots in a state are picking up and leaving, and then they're telling people like me why they left, and it was because of those bad policies, then that really, really speaks volumes. So to lose population like that, I think was a huge, huge problem. And so this is something that I've been being told about for many, many years. I never thought it would end up where someone would make the misjudgment of actually putting him on a ticket. But he didn't get as much fanfare as New York and Illinois and California. That's true. There's also just not as many people in those states. But I can tell you the folks, and a lot of them are not in this part of Florida. A lot of them are on the west coast of Florida. But being able to get kids in school was impossible, for those months in COVID. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous what they were doing. They actually have a policy where they're a sanctuary state for gender surgery for minors. So you can have a kid go with no parent consent to Minnesota and get this stuff done. And I'm just thinking, like, how is that standing for parents' rights? So I don't expect you to see national media expose this at all. I think they're creating a much different image. But this is something that we've been getting information on for many years, just from the people that move out of Minnesota and have come to Florida. And I tell you, I always ask people when they tell me they moved, I said, are you glad you did? And they say they are. So that's that. All right, let's do the track presentation. Here we go.
You are watching the Florida Channel, a public service made possible by the Florida Legislature, WFSU-TV, and Florida State University.
Not everyone can make it to Tallahassee to take part in the state government process. That's why the Florida Channel makes it our mission to bring state government to you. Whether at home or on the road, thefloridachannel.org provides users access to legislative hearings, access to agency meetings, and access to the judicial branch with oral arguments from the Florida Supreme Court. And with the Florida Channel app, you can take it all mobile and watch anytime, anywhere. So take advantage of all that the Florida Channel has to offer. The Florida Channel, connecting Florida.
House Resolution 9023 relating to FSU Day and House Resolution 9025 honoring Florida State University head football coach Bobby Bowden. Without objection, the motion is approved. Read the first resolution by title.
By Representative Domino, H.R. 9023, a resolution designating March 22, 2007 as FSU Day in Florida.
Representative Domino is recognized to explain the resolution and make some introductions.
Madam Chair, I'm pleased to introduce this resolution which will honor our great university of Florida State University. And at this time, I would like to introduce former Speaker and current President of Florida State University, T.K. Weatherall.
Welcome.
Aren't you done?
If you favor the resolution, signify by saying yea.
Yay!
Opposed, nay. Show it adopted. Read the next resolution in full.
By Representative Domino, H.R. 9025, a resolution honoring Florida State University head football coach Bobby Bowden. Whereas after successfully coaching at his alma mater, Samford University, and at the University of West Virginia in 1976, Bobby Bowden took over the Florida State University football program, and during the 31 intervening years developed it into the most consistently successful program in the history of major college football. And whereas Coach Bowden has led the Seminoles to a 10-win season 18 times in 31 years, to 28 bowl games, including 25 season 18 times in 31 years, to 28 bowl games, including consecutive bowl games, to 6 bowl championship series bowl games in the 9-year existence of the national championship competition, and to the Concessions National Championships in 1993 and 1999. Whereas during Florida State's 15-year membership in the Atlantic Coast Conference, Coach Bowden has led the team to 12 championships and has twice been named Conference Coach of the Year. And whereas on October 25, 2003, Bobby Bowden added yet another superlative to his long list of outstanding accomplishments when he became an all-time winningest coach in major college football history, currently totaling 366 career coaching victories. And whereas on December 5, 2006, Bobby Bowden was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame and received the organization's highest distinction as a gold medal recipient. Joining President Dwight D. Eisenhower, President John F. Kennedy, General H. Norman Schwarzkopf, and Jackie Robinson as gold medal recipient. And whereas, although admired for a football program that is a model for the entire country, Bobby Bowden has not obsessed with his success on the field, preferring instead that he focus on more important aspects of life: his Christian faith, his family and friends, and the young men who comprise his team. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives on the state of Florida that the House of Representatives proudly salutes Florida State University head football coach Bobby Bowden and extends him its gratitude and congratulations for his many accomplishments as head football coach and for his numerous contributions to the community of Tallahassee and the state of Florida. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Bobby Bowden, head football coach of the Florida State University football program, as a tangible token for sentiments expressed herein.
Members, this is important stuff now. Representative Domino, you are recognized to explain the resolution.
Mr. Speaker, I request permission from me and Coach Bobby Bowden to approach the well.
You may approach the well and make the introduction. Welcome, Coach Bobby Bowden. Thank you, members. Are there questions on the resolution? Is there debate? Seeing none, the question recurs on adoption of the resolution. If you favor the resolution, signify. Okay, show it adopted. Coach Bowden, you are welcome to the chamber, and we recognize you to please make remarks to our members.
Coach Bowden, on behalf of the Seminole Caucus, we welcome you. Coach Bowden, who I've known as a golf partner, as a great coach, and as a great family man. I had the honor last December of being in New York City to see him inducted in the Coaches Hall of Fame. Coach Bowden is truly a legend whose name will live as long as college football is recognized. It gives me the greatest honor to recognize the head football coach of Florida State University, the first university in the state to get 2 national champions, public university, Coach Bobby Bowden.
Is this what y'all look like? That's good to see everybody, and I do appreciate this recognition. Next year will be my 32nd year at Florida State. Next year will be my 55th year of college coaching. So I feel like I've been very lucky, been very fortunate to be able to coach this long, and it's been a great pleasure being at Florida State University. I always thought I would end up back in Alabama, my home. I always thought that's the way it's going to work out, you know, but it didn't. And I feel very fortunate that I was able to come to Florida State and stay here this long. If I can just keep TK straight over there, I get on TK. Some of y'all might not understand this. He don't even have a statue, you know, and so he's working on it, by the way. But anyway, thank you so much for the recognition, and we're mighty proud of the job you're doing. We've got a great state here, maybe the best in the United States, and yeah. And not only are we proud of Florida State University, we're also proud of Miami University. We're also proud of